In this video, we're going to be taking a look at the cost of gas versus the cost of oil for heating your house this winter. Now, I know many of you don't actually have the choice between using a gas or an oil boiler. It will very much depend on where you live. But I thought it was an interesting experiment to do, as I've recently moved house and my new house is off grid. So I had to order oil for the first time. So I ordered 1,000 litres of oil. But really, I had no idea whether it was good value or not and how much energy I was going to get from that. So I've taken some time to do the calculations. I want to share it with you guys, as I think it's quite interesting when you compare directly how much it's going to cost you to heat your house this year, whether you've got an oil boiler or a gas boiler. So recently, the energy price cap for winter 2022, well, I say winter 2022, this is from the 1st of October till the 31st of December. There will be a new price cap as we move into 2023. And they announced the headline figure that the average household bill, or the cap, will go up to £3,549. Now, that's not overly helpful, as everyone has different houses and uses a different amount of energy. So what I did on the day that that news was released, I tweeted the actual kilowatt hours for both electricity and for gas. So you can see here gas has jumped from 7p per kilowatt hour to 15p per kilowatt hour. And that's the figure we need to keep in mind as we go through this, that we can compare oil prices versus the gas prices. So people using a gas boiler between the 1st of October to the 31st of December will be paying 15p per kilowatt hour. And when you consider only about a year or two ago, that was as low as, I think I was paying 3.4p at one point per kilowatt hour. That's a 4 or 5-fold increase. So it's going to be awfully expensive to heat your house this year, regardless of the fuel source that you are using. So let's go to the kerosene, which is heating oil prices, and see where we are. At the moment, we're roughly paying 92, 94p per litre, which is about right, as I just paid £924 for 1,000 litres. But like I say, when I ordered that, I didn't know how much energy I was actually going to get from it, especially when I compare it back to a gas boiler. So the first thing we need to know is how many kilowatt hours of energy do we actually get from a litre of oil. So very helpfully, Google gave me this answer. You get 10.35 kilowatt hours of energy from oil. Now, burning oil, just as with most fuels, isn't 100% efficient. So if we round that down and say we're going to get 10 kilowatt hours per litre of oil, and then we can do the maths based on that. So we know that I paid £924 for 1,000 litres, which if I bring up the calculator here and we can actually do the math, so 924 divided by 1,000, I paid 92.4p per litre. So if we now divide that by the 10 kilowatt hours, we know that each kilowatt hour is costing us approximately 0.92p. When you compare that to gas, which is here, which is 0.15, this winter you are paying over 50% more to heat your house using gas than you would if you're using oil. Now, I know it doesn't make a huge difference, as like I said earlier on in the video, people don't necessarily have choice over whether you're using a gas or an oil boiler. It's very much driven by where you live, but I still thought it was an interesting experiment. So if you found this video useful, I'd appreciate to hit that like button. If you want to see more from me, subscribe to the channel. And if you want to find out how you could potentially save hundreds of pounds in lost energy using this very simple tool that costs only £13, I'd recommend watching the video that's popped up in front of me, as I'm confident it will save almost everyone that watches it some money on their heating bills this year.